Hello everyone, I'm meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 4 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now we've got news out of Pitt County where a man is now facing drug and gun charges after a compliance check. Deputies say they determined Marquise Myers was breaking his probation and went to check on him Tuesday at a home on Debbie Drive, just northwest of Ayden. A subsequent search found drugs and guns, according to the sheriff's office. Last September, deputies say they searched Myers' car in LaGrange and discovered several pounds each of marijuana and methamphetamine while he was on a separate probation. Deputies charged Myers with level 1 trafficking of cocaine, felony maintaining a dwelling or place for controlled substance, possession of a firearm by a felon, and obstruction of justice, probation and parole. Now, the 37-year-old was served an order for arrest for failure to appear on charges of felony probation violation out of the county. Myers is being held in the Pitt County Jail on a $500,000 secured bond. And in other news, ECU is getting a nice little windfall from, of all places, sports gambling. Now, the Sports Betting Alliance has announced that after 18 months of legalized sports betting in North Carolina, more than $41 million has been raised for 13 UNC system institutions. According to the release, this $41 million comes from the state law that says roughly 20% paid to the state by sports betting companies go to the athletic programs of the UNC system. Each school will be receiving more than $3.1 million. Sports Betting Alliance said, quote, "Sports wagering companies are proud to play by the rules and pay a reasonable tax to responsibly serve North Carolina customers. Less than 2 years after legalization, more than $41 million in tax revenue has been reinvested in North Carolina's public universities, strengthening athletic programs across the state and giving them the ability to withstand unexpected challenges," end quote. Now, East Carolina University and Elizabeth City State University will each be getting their share as part of the UNC system. And now we want to turn to your forecast. Of course, we've got our eyes on the tropics, but before we get to that part of your forecast, I know a lot of people are wondering, okay, is that system that's near Puerto Rico, is it going to hit us? And right now, again, just to let you know ahead of time, too soon to tell. We could get a hit, we could miss it completely, or the system may just not actually develop into a tropical system because of what is known as the Fujiwara effect, which is essentially two tropical systems kind of coming into contact and weakening each other due to converging winds. But here's a look at what we've got across the east. Again, a cloud cover sit off further back towards the west, not going to impact us today. Yeah, we've got some patchy clouds out there. There's a view through our Greenville tower cam, and you can see some of those patchy clouds, again, are just that, patchy clouds. Nothing, again, that's giving us any sort of rainfall. Radar picture, again, also nice and dry at this hour. Was not that way yesterday, but today not seeing the same sort of upward forcing that created that opportunity for rain yesterday afternoon. We still are hot, though. We are hot and we are humid. Right now, air temperatures in the low 90s across many inland areas. Getting a little bit cooler as you get closer to the coast, but even then, humidity is certainly high and is making it feel quite toasty. Now, over the past 24 hours, New Bern and Washington specifically have really kind of raced out ahead of the pack in terms of 24-hour temperature change, seeing a 9 and 10 degree rise respectively. Now, a lot of that has to do with a lack of rain for those areas. Yesterday, they were seeing again some rain showers around those parts, but with the winds out of the south, it's returning the humidity to the east and boosting those numbers throughout the area. There's not a spot in eastern North Carolina where you can go right now where you'll step out of your car and say, oh, there's the dry air. That's where I left it. No, we are looking again at humid conditions throughout eastern North Carolina. Now, if I had to go anywhere, it'd obviously be Rocky Mount right now, a 60-degree dew point. That beats just about everywhere else by 4 degrees, as a Husky right now is sitting at 64-degree dew point. Goldsboro is 65, Greenville at 66. But again, the 75-degree dew point in Onslow County, you're feeling that when you step out the door. Plymouth right now, a 77-degree dew point. There is a lot of humidity across parts of the area, and unfortunately, that's going to be with us again coming up for tomorrow. We do have relief on the way, though. It's that cold front not the one up to our north, not the one up to our northwest. It's the one well off to our west that right there is stretched across Oklahoma and northern Texas. That is the front that's going to be giving us the cooler and drier air once it finally clears the coast. That is going to be easier said than done. That area of high pressure, it's not going to again force that system out until we possibly get into Sunday or Monday of next week. But by that point, we could be talking again about that tropical system approaching eastern North Carolina. So by Friday morning, that front stalls along our coast and gives us a perpetual chance of rain coming up for Friday as well as Saturday. Then on Sunday, we're going to be tracking, well, hopefully it's just one system, but right now we've got two areas of concern. The one that is more concerning is the one off to the left just because of its position relative to eastern North Carolina, but it's the one on the right that actually has that 90% chance of tropical development over a 48-hour stretch. Now, if that system does develop into a tropical system, it may negatively impact that system near Puerto Rico, the one we're a little bit more concerned about. The reason being is converging winds will weaken both systems, but it will kind of lead to one overtaking the other, and the bigger one is going to win out in that regard. So at this point, it's one that we're trying to take everything into consideration, but right now what we really need to focus on are the upper level wind patterns around that area of low pressure near Puerto Rico. Over the next 7 days, it has a high chance of tropical development, an 80% chance. Big reason why is once it does reach the Turks and Caicos Islands, it's going to be sitting over very warm water, and that usually leads to rapid intensification of any sort of low pressure system in those areas this time of year. 92 degrees coming up for tomorrow, drops to 72 degrees overnight Thursday night into Friday morning. Of course, we will also be watching the ECU Pirates take on the Black Knights of Army. Kickoff is at 7:30. We may end up again having to deal with some rain showers and possibly a weather delay around some thunderstorms for that game. It's something we've been mentioning all week long. Again, want to first alert you to that fact. If you are a tailgater, get to the stadium early to hang out and enjoy the festivities. Maybe have a light rain jacket with you before you head into the stadium. And again, be prepared for a potential weather delay at some point. Now, hopefully it doesn't happen, but just want to make sure you're aware that it is a possibility. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday is when we're watching for those potential tropical impacts. Right now, nothing is set in stone. We are still waiting for the data from the hurricane hunters to come back into our systems and should give us a clear picture of exactly where that system is going to actually track. But for right now, we've kind of blocked off that 3-day time period for the potential for rain and wind and potential tropical conditions across eastern North Carolina and our coast. After that, though, things are looking pretty good. Wednesday, 79 degrees, 75 by Thursday. That's all we have time for today's 4 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, hope you all have a wonderful day.